Hi, Robyn D'Angelo here, licensed marriage and family therapist and relationship expert. And today I want to talk about anger, and specifically I want to talk about resentments. So anger is a very healthy, normal, natural emotion. We all feel this at times. And I think where it tends to get a little, maybe where it feels negative or it feels upsetting is when we make choices on how to experience that or how we deal with our anger. And resentments is one of those ways. Resentments is something that we tend to have this story in our mind, and it kind of goes round and round, which is like, how could this person do this? What were they thinking? What's their problem? And it kind of goes round and round, which keeps us kind of in that victim role, and them in the, they're the ones that did this role, and the blame goes on to them. One of the ways that I've learned from my dear friend and colleague Michelle Ferris on ways to deal with resentments when we kind of find ourselves stuck in that loop is to try writing down, kind of like completely uncensored, everything that you feel and think about the situation, even about the person. Just write it all out. Then once you've had a chance to do that, I want you to think about how the resentment impacts you personally. Does it impact your self-esteem? Does it impact your emotional kind of security, maybe financially? Does it impact you when you're out in public? Write this down in detail. Then I want you to think about, or write out actually, how do your behaviors and your attitudes, your mood, how does this impact the situation as a whole? What happens when we have resentments towards someone is it tends to separate us. We feel like we can't trust that person. Maybe we feel like we don't want to apologize because then we have to forgive them, right? So I want you to write all of this out, and this is really for your benefit, okay? So I want you to write out next everything you would say to that person. Again, completely uncensored, every single thing. Now, you're not going to give this to that person. This is for your benefit to learn to kind of move through this resentment. See if you can release some of this a little bit, because it's actually holding you captive. There's also very specific ways that you can start to communicate kind of your feelings, your thoughts, and that's when I recommend that you highly, highly reach out to a trained professional, a therapist like myself, maybe a coach, maybe even someone within your congregation at a church or something. Get some specific help in learning how to communicate your feelings and your thoughts to help release some of these resentments. And I can guarantee your relationships will begin to shift immediately. So what I want you to do is leave me any questions that you have below. If this is something that you're struggling with and you'd like some help, reach out. You can call me directly at 714-390-1652 or shoot me an email if you have a specific question at Robyn, ROBYN, @counselinglaguna hills.com. I hope to hear from you soon. Take care. Bye-bye.